Throughout football history, wise men have congregated to bring you the best stats, predictions, and analysis of the game. These are not those men. 3 derelict Oakland Raiders fans expelled from clown school for shaping inappropriate balloon animals at children's birthday parties and borrowing the school clown car to attend a Murphy's Law gig in Brooklyn. With no ambitions outside of rodeo barrel racing and the Shiner Circus, they made their way to the rolling hills of northwestern New Jersey and established a home at the Irish Cottage Inn. Surrounded by Jets and Giants fans, they called in reinforcements and established a circus sideshow of their own, known as the New Jersey chapter of the Black Hole. Join the party each week on the Fan Club Blitz, a wild ride into the world of die-hard football team fan clubs from across the globe with your hosts, Splatterhead, Fitz, and Tom, Clown School Rejects. Hey, what's up, guys? Chuck here. Don't worry, it's not going to be a podcast, so we have an action-packed, very funny, entertaining show for you. So I'm just going to break it down and let you know what you're in store for. First up, we have an interview with Charles Ibarra, or Darth Raider, and we talked to him about what it's like to be Darth Raider, and we get his feelings on all things Raider related, the move, where we're playing next season, and where that's going to leave him, and it's a good interview, so hope you enjoy that. And from there, we go to the Great Beer Expo of New Jersey, football-themed beer convention, and we drink a lot of beer. So we don't have a what are you drinking segment for this episode because we're drinking a lot of beer. And we talked to Rosie and Carlos, who won tickets from the podcast to attend the event. She's a Raiders fan, he's a Jets fan, and we have a good time, and they got to enjoy the expo. We talked to them a little bit, and then Tom does an interview with the Jersey Girl Brewing Company, a local Jersey brewer who we really enjoy their product. And we also have a great interview with Adrian from Bolero Snort Brewery, which was I gotta say was probably my favorite brewery of the event. Anyway, it's a very beer heavy episode. And on that note, a little announcement: we are in the progress now of starting a second podcast, which we'll be calling Inebrination. That way we can focus on beer, and we can focus more on Raiders for this one. But we'll still do our What Are We Drinking segment, which I had no idea, but apparently Sonny and Murph used to have a What Are We Drinking segment way back when. I had no idea. So they're not drinking anything but coffee anymore, so, we're happy to pick up the mantle. And then, as always, stick around after the closing credits and listen to some of the bloopers. All right, we got some funny stuff to throw in there. That's that, man. Other announcements: we're going to be attending another event at the end of March, and I'll get all the details up, and we'll have more details for you on the next episode. But we're attending the New Jersey Horror Convention in Atlantic City, which is a horror convention and a horror film expo. So, that should be fun. We told them we're a football podcast, but they want us there anyway. So we'll be covering that. Anyway, enjoy the show. This is the last you're going to hear from me. We're just going to roll through everything. All right. Keep it going, keep it going. All right, so we're about to get our first super fan call.
Okay.
All right, so we have a guest on the line. We got Mr. Darth Raider. Welcome to the Fan Club Blitz.
Welcome, sir.
What's going on, man?
Thank you. How's it going, guys?
It's going good, man. So tell us, how long have you been donning the Darth Raider moniker?
Well, a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. Way back, man, we're going on the 23rd year of Darth Raider. It
Nice.
actually started before then. Back in the 70s, there was an original guy named Mike. He actually donned Darth, or actually his alias was Dark Raider in the 70s, and it captured the imagination of a lot of people during the time. Star Wars was obviously big, late 70s.
Right.
And it was also, really, big time for the Raiders. And it just kind of went hand in hand. Every time, if you notice, the connection was strong because every time the Raiders went to the Super Bowl, a Star Wars movie came out.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's weird. It's weird. 70s, or close by. It's not around winning year. It was actually a dope year. It was actually it was near the Super Bowl. 77, obviously, for Star Wars. 76 Raiders. 80 Empire Strikes Back, and 83, 84 Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
So this guy had it in his mind to actually, don the cape and mask, and as a kid watching, I always remembered it. Always remember that just fits. That just equally fits. So it was just weird. So when it came back in '95 LA, I knew that guy had to live again. I don't know if he was doing it or not. I don't know if where that guy was, but there had to be something. So I donned some snow gloves, ski gloves, and a Darth Vader mask and cape, and went out. And 23 years later, I'm still doing it. So the guy eventually. I'm roaming around. I'm, giving love to the fans, and there's a guy that just squeezed my hand really, really hard, and he said, "I'm him." He said, "I'm the original Darth Vader, man." He's like, "Oh, you're doing a great job, and I just want you to know I respect you and keep it up, man. Try to see as many fans as you can." And immediately I remember after just meeting, just start bowing to him like, "Oh man, you're the reason, man. You're the guy." And me and Mike have had a good relationship ever since. He's a good guy, and he tells me, I'm doing the right thing and just keep on doing it. He's like, "I'm an old guy now, so continue the tradition well." And I've been doing it for this long, so people seem to like it. So what the hell?
No, that's awesome, man.
Yeah. Did you two get your pictures taken together in your respective?
That would have been cool.
His thing from the 70s and yours now.
They have a documentary up there on both. They kind of filmed us both back in his heyday in the 70s, and then me. I think it was during the 2000s, like the glory years for both eras. But never, like, he always mentioned every tailgate he would go to, or he would arrive. My brother has his own dark side tailgate, and he would arrive and just check us out. And he was like, all right, next week, man, I'm gonna time my. They're okay. And he never would, but he did. If I can recall correctly, he did one time. And I'm not sure where the pictures went, but I do have a picture of me and him. I just put up on there's a Darth Raider page on Facebook. But he was the OG, man. He's all my love to him, man. He's the reason I'm out there.
No, that's cool, man.
Yeah.
That's cool that he kind of just passed the torch.
Sure.
And gave you his blessings.
Yeah. Mike's a good guy. He's the one thing that's kind of hard for me because it's so chaotic on game days, as you guys know. Like, I mean, it's just thousands of people that you have to get to.
Yeah.
And he would go out like the upper deck. He would go to the middle deck and front. I'm like, man, I can't. I'm watching the game, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's I'll do that in the beginning, and I'll, visit people, and but mostly, now as I get older, I'm just like, if you really want to see me, you know where to find me. It's the Dark Side Tailgate, on the northern side,
It was a lot easier back then to roam around the stadium freely, too.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Without security and just all the, melee and the craziness of what it was, back in the day. It definitely has changed over the years, but it's still crazy. I mean, it's shameful that it's all coming to an end, possibly, after last year or, part of this year. But we'll see where it goes.
What's the word out there? You hearing anything about what's going on next season? I mean, any kind of inside scoop?
Well, from what I'm reading lately, I mean, you guys have followed, right? I mean, you've been connected everywhere from London to San Diego.
Yeah.
I have no idea. The last thing that I've read is, they're actually putting some stuff up in Oakland. I don't know how strong the rumors are, but they're really gearing for maybe one more year. Mark Davis also met with some Coliseum authorities, I think it was a week ago. There's no outcome out of that. There's no, conclusion. And I think they said there was a meeting. Mark Davis said it was a lie, and then they said they were having it anyway. I don't even know if he went or not.
Right.
Yeah, that was the last thing I said that I seen. That was like Davis said, absolutely not. None of this stuff is going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, way to shoot our hopes down, Mark. Thank you.
Now, if they stay in California, even if they're not in Oakland, I know it's going to, affect some of the fan base, but then, there'll still be quite a few people that are going to follow them, if they're in San Diego or whatever. So, what's your take on that? Are you going to make it to those games too, or is that going to be too difficult for you?
Yeah, I'll definitely make it to a few for sure. If it was in San Diego, I'd definitely make the opener. And we'll see with my family. Darth Vader is like more of a family and group thing. So it's like if all my friends and family want to go to one specific game and see them paired up, then we'll do that. And most likely it'll be the same thing with Vegas. It's definitely the opener. My brother already got season tickets because he's crazy.
Yeah,
I'm like, you're not going to retire, bro. Come on. I'm doing this in my 50s and 60s, man. So I mean, I don't know, but we'll see where it goes. But I mean, the Darth Vader also back from my father though too. I mean, the Oakland Raiders. The first part, from Oakland, that's where my father was born and raised. So I kind of figured when I'm putting on the mask, I'm putting on the helmet, I'm definitely, doing it for Oakland, and that's, Oakland and Hangman is with my father. So, it's definitely for all the people, and if the people want to see it, I'll definitely, be doing it for as long as I can.
Yeah, that's cool, man, and people do love it, man. The kids love it, and everybody likes to see Darth Vader on the TV and in the stands and at the tailgate. So it's cool, man. It's got to be a lot of fun. And
thank you. I mean, you recognize definitely. I mean, I look at it all the time.
Oh,
we lost him. You still there?
I mean,
you cut out for a minute there.
You definitely notice a lot of difference, in the stands of Oakland than anywhere else. So you got a gorilla and a black hole, you got Darth Vader and the dark side. You got, skulls. You got so many different kind of people. You've got Crusader Raider all the way from London.
Yeah.
You got so many different people. And from different worlds, and I'll come to Oakland just to love their team, win or lose. You don't have a lot of that throughout the NFL, and also the history. I've been thinking a lot about the history, just what it means for the city of Oakland and the people around it. I don't think America in general has a really good sense of history anymore. The Niners get 5 Super Bowls and move to Santa Clara.
Yeah.
That one stadium. Jets are different spots. Everybody has different spots, new locations, Super Bowl or not. And I think Green Bay maybe is the only one that really gets it. It's like for decades, they've been the same spot. They could call it a dump or whatever, but I see, history. I see fans, just using their front yards for parking lots, and it just seems like a really good element, And when I look at the Oakland Coliseum, I think of Kenny Stabler, Jim Otto, Warren Wells now, all the different guys that have played there. And it's just going to be sad if they don't, do it one more year. So Madden said this a long time ago, and kind of rings in my head now and then. It's like the league loves new, that's where it's going to just keep going, and it's going to suck, because it's like he says when they have a decision to blow up the stadium or knock it down or whatever, he's not going to be okay with that, because that's all our glory years too. But I just hope that they keep that sense of history. If all the fans could kind of read up and watch some documentaries and just remember us, how we were and how we used to be. If last year was the last year, and take it for wherever you go to, whether it be in Vegas or San Diego or anywhere in the future, just to remember the history of Oakland, because I don't think you could really take the Oakland out of Raiders anytime in the future, whether it be in Vegas or anywhere they play. I mean, it's still the United States, it's still community. It's that people come all around all over the world for it, but that goes hand in hand, and it'll be for life. So being Las Vegas, they'll definitely have to respect that.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely going to be different. Everything that happened in Oakland happened organically, and I don't think anybody in Vegas or anywhere else, if they think that they're going to recreate what took place in Oakland, it's just not going to happen.
No, they got to recreate it in their own image.
But you got
what they're going to have to do.
But you have to remember the history of the team and the history of the fans, and that's one of the things that we try to do on the show is direct people back to some of the older players and some of the classic games and classic just Raider lore, because there's a lot of younger fans out there now that they just don't they don't have a connection with that.
Sort of it's getting kind of ugly, and people just mentioning that Oakland can't get their team, they're Brooklyn, it's disrespect, it's just a lot of disrespect, and people from Vegas, it's just like, wait a minute, this is Raider Nation,
Yeah, when fans start hurling insults at each other, whether it's whether it's guys from Oakland, say, oh, you guys aren't real fans because you're not from here, or guys from Vegas, whatever the case is, man, none of that's going to help anything. It's it's Raider Nation. It's a global phenomenon, and like I said, it's I'm sure you have mixed feelings, because obviously we all want the team to play in Oakland, but we also understand that's just not in the cards. I'm hoping for one more year.
Sure,
at least.
That'd be nice.
Hey, we lost you for a second. But yeah, I'm sure everybody's got mixed emotions, because we ideally everybody wants the team to be in Oakland. I even we had a cat from Vegas, one of the booster clubs out in Vegas, on, and he wants the team to be in Oakland
he
too.
wants them to stay there too.
But he's like, but they're coming here, so we have to pick up the mantle and carry it forward. And he also understands they're not gonna try to recreate Oakland in Vegas. It's gonna be something different, but at the same time,
I think they're gonna keep the history.
What happens?
I think because from talking to that one guy in Vegas, it looks like they want to keep the history, but they really got to do their own thing.
And as long as they remember what's the motto from Raiders Fan Radio now, what happens. What happens in Vegas started in Oakland. And everybody's got to remember that.
That's great. I like that mantra a lot.
They have to
definitely where we need to be. I mean, that's definitely, because I think, let's be honest, once the stadium is built and, once we see that, beautiful structure just in front of us, and we're all together in the same stadium, and the torch is lit, the beautiful torch at there, for Al. We're all going to be on the same page. I don't think there'll be an issue, really, because of the excitement. It's just going to be crazy. It's just something new and improved. I mean, I'm not going to whine at all, after. It's just going to be just moving forward. It's just like I don't really have time for. Just to bellow, because it'll be done. It'll be over. But as soon as we're on the same page, and it's all looking good for all of us with the location, the team. The team is essentially what it's all about. I think of all the guys that are actually going to be there, in a year, and how are they going to feel, or how are they going to be affected, and how are they going to respond to, all the commotion,
right?
And newness of the situation. How's Derek Carr going to react? With all this craziness. It's just gonna be nuts.
It is. It's going to be crazy, man. But I mean, I'm I think that for me, the grieving period is kind of over, and now I'm just excited to embrace the change, and at the same time always respect where the team's from and the history.
That's my thing. It's like, okay, I've came to grips with it, but I also came to grips that they won in Oakland, they won in LA,
right,
and they're gonna win in Vegas. So
I was
so no matter where we go, we're winning a trophy.
Yeah. You got to come to terms with it because it's gonna happen.
I was a young kid living in Berkeley when they moved to LA. And I was devastated.
Yeah.
But then they went down there and they started winning, and I was like, okay, hey, Raiders.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was a kid as well. We actually were, I was a little kid in LA, growing up like in the 70s. My father was always from Oakland, and when we moved up here back in 80, that's when they moved back to LA.
Right.
It's like, what? Wait a minute, But we didn't feel too bad because that's where I was pretty much born and raised, is DeWarty, Southern California, and but we've been up here since '80, and it was just our dream for them to come back, and we did. So it kind of went hand in hand. Vegas, there's not really much of a connection besides, it's a great party town for the whole family.
Right. Yeah, it's a fun place to go.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. Who doesn't have a good time in Vegas? Al Davis, actually, from reading articles, talking to players, he used to get all his players and actually just take him to Vegas like every summer.
Yeah.
So whenever the off season was there, he'd invite them all. Listed Kennedy, actually, who's kind of like comes to our tailgate now and then. I asked him. I've been meaning to ask you this for the longest time. Do you think Al Davis would want this? Just kind of go back and forth. He's like, man, he wanted that for years. He's been wanting that dream for years, but he just knew the league probably wouldn't do it. But here we are. So everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
Just talk about the party in Vegas. It's gonna be nuts.
It's gonna be wild, man.
Yeah, I think it is. Yes.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about the party.
Yeah.
I'm always excited when I get to go to Vegas anyway, but now I get to go to Vegas and watch the Raiders. That's even crazier, man.
Yeah. Fuel on the fire, man.
Yeah. Yep. I can go play some cards, get wasted, and tailgate and see a Raiders game. Amazing. And I think that by the time we get there, if everything works out the way it's headed now, we should have a pretty damn good team when we get to Vegas in 2020.
We should.
That's the plan.
Yeah. We'll see. It's the senior Bulls right now. John Gruden's, coaching it up, and he's looking at people. I'll probably, watch it after this interview. But, we're going to see the best of the best out of the draft picks. It looks like D linemen are there are a lot of great D linemen, and defensive ends are actually being, standouts right now in college. And we did a lot from Alabama for some reason. Always.
Yeah, it's always Alabama.
Got some good guys in there. And we'll see. But I'm also looking at, free agents as well, too. But just reading how the wish list, Clowney's out there from Houston, and Lawrence from Dallas, and you got all these guys you got to look at,
Of course.
How to build. Offensive line is really kind of killing me because, out of all these things, I know defensive seems like the main priority, but man, Carr got sacked more than I've ever seen him get sacked this year, I think. And I think it was one of the highest sack totals of his career. And we have to really address that, man. We can't just,
Yeah.
They're wondering why he played so bad. It's like, I hate to say it, but, right tackle is kind of weak right now, So we have to look into that in the draft. So, we'll see.
I agree, man. And I think, again, like you said, it all starts in free agency, man. You start building there. We got plenty of money. And then you get into the draft, and I agree. We need defense, but I think if we can build up some, bring in some monsters in free agency that are out there, then we should be pretty good because we got Mo Hurst is a beast.
Yep.
I like Hurst.
Key.
Yeah, Arden Key is once he gets a little more into his belt where he actually can get to the quarterback, but he's getting pressure.
Yeah, he's chasing him.
He's
just not catching him.
But he'll start catching them.
Yes.
And then I think with you're right. The offensive line is a big issue. The problem is last year going into the season we didn't realize how big of an issue it was going to be. We didn't know we were going to have all those injuries and last season's over.
Donald Penn going down. Yeah, Donald Penn going down was kind of like a real big loss, but I think that they're confident in Colton Miller, and he on the other side, so he had to switch.
Right.
There's some bad games. Let's be honest. I remember London where it was just like, wow, this is our guy.
That was hard to watch, man.
Yeah. He rebounded back. He definitely rebounded back, and that's something you got to really look at. Just how many more wins is he gathering than losses and stuff. And I look at a lot of these things, these details of just how good actually these guys are. Hurst, Hall, draft picks, Connolly. Hey, thinking about these guys have just been drafted that just made some improvements. After a while, Connolly was shutting a lot of guys down.
Yeah. Didn't he grade out as number one in the last quarter of the season? I think.
Yeah, I believe so.
He literally became a shutdown corner.
Yeah. Yes.
He shut Brown down.
Yeah.
Which is
Oh, Antonio Brown that was beautiful, wasn't it?
He shut him down. And
I was talking to so many people, do you guys realize what just happened? He had about 40 yards, 30 yards. And, Juju will have his way, obviously. And they were going to him for the longest part. And I think they thought so well that finally they put him on, and Juju got him a little bit. Okay, let's go back to Antonio. Antonio was also big, as well, but Juju had a big game, but against what Antonio Brown is supposed to be a duel, and that duel wasn't there that day.
No, I tell you that game kind of restored some of my faith in the coaching staff and less of my faith in myself, because I had criticized the coaching staff for not playing Conley early in the season. I said that kid needs to be on the field. I don't know what they're doing putting him on the bench. He needs to be. Well, maybe I was wrong and they were right.
Yeah.
Because towards the end of the season, he came alive. So that's why I get paid to do what I do, and those guys get paid to do what they do.
We get 52 cents a show.
Right.
They get 10 million.
Right.
Darth gets nothing. Darth is paying. So.
Right. So,
that's what it is. It definitely, these guys know, and sometimes it's even about attitude. We don't know how often they want to practice. We don't know how often they're being a bee. They're just sometimes it's just attitude, the way that you react to a benching. It's and it's detrimental to the team. If their attitude is just off, then they're not going to play. I think Gruden, for the most part, wants people that want to play for the Oakland Raiders, and he definitely questions their loyalty. I read articles about half these guys don't even know the history of the Raiders,
right?
Jack Tatum and the Cliff Branches of the world, and he had a test laid out to make sure they know.
Yeah,
there's definitely a history.
He really pushes that you guys got to learn what it is to be a Raider.
Yeah.
It's not just about being an NFL player, man. You guys are Raiders, and you have to embrace that. And
Yeah.
That's why he's got, Villapiano out there. And
Yeah.
He's got, Cliff Branch, and he's, he brings these guys out to like really impress what it means to be a Raider on them. So,
that Pittsburgh Big also, that there's a picture that stands out where Lester Hayes actually made it to that game, and I think Franco Harris got gas, some other Steeler guys, and but Lester Hayes was, putting his arm around Connolly, and he was just basically telling him how it used to be. I'm like, that's what it's all about, man. Him coaching him up and telling him it used to be, and the rivalry was there, and what this game meant to so many people, and he balled up, man. He definitely that picture just, that gave me hope. That definitely, I love seeing things like that. You tie the past to the future, and to make sure to let the young guys know where we're going in the future and what you should always remember.
Yeah, absolutely,
Yep.
man. So before we close out and let you go, and we appreciate the time, but we always give our guests the opportunity to just send a message out to Raider Nation. Whatever's on your mind, whatever you want to let the nation know.
I think to let the nation know, just keep the faith, man. I know times are rough now with losing so many picks. Dare I say, the Max, the Coopers, all these other guys. But it goes back to what I just said. You really have to question sometimes a guy's loyalty. Sometimes people just are about the money, and I believe for the most part, these guys ask for a lot. And you really have to, put yourself in the shoes, saying, well, how good is this guy? What can I get for him? He doesn't want to be a Raider, I think if they really wanted to be there, and if, they had the, passion for the Raiders as much as we do, they'd still be here. Definitely still be here, A lot of fans don't even realize, you throw this much money, you go anywhere as well. You feel it on their side as well too. They're only in the game for a few years, and they want to make as much as money you can. I get that, but on the other side, you also have to, you want the players that want to be here. So I think that's what Scruton and staff are doing, and just to have faith. Definitely have faith. Don't bitch so much, and think of solutions. Think as a player. And definitely you'll live life a lot better instead of just being angry all the time, Because I see it on social media a lot. But, think of solutions, and not just, devolve and, be angry so much. That's the path to the dark side. And we don't want that. Or maybe we do. So go right, definitely visit. Everybody check out darksideTailgate.com. It's my brother's tailgate where we'll all do it before every game. No idea again where we're going to play next year, but if it is in Oakland or around the Bay Area, definitely look it up. Just Google Dark Side Tailgate. You'll know what I'm talking about. So
awesome,
cool.
Well, we appreciate your time, man. Thanks for coming on, and wherever we end up next year, or the year after when we're in Vegas, we'll definitely find you.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep.
Cool.
All right, man.
Man.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you.
The cucumber accents the water in such a way that
You got Tom and Splatterhead here. Let's talk to one of our winners, Roofy Rose.
We're talking to Ruby Rose.
Ruby Rose.
And the victim.
And the
No, I'm Roofy Rose because I was the victim. I was the victim.
You're right.
I don't know, man.
I don't know.
$14 bottle of beer.
I don't know. You dosed Carlos up with some pretty potent beer, man.
Let's just say I wasn't buying.
True.
All right.
point. That's a valid point.
Yeah.
So
Carlos is a Jets fan. Rosie's a Raiders fan.
J-E-T-S.
Rosie was the winner of our podcast giveaway for the Beer Expo tickets, and so her and her significant other Carlos are here. Woo! And Carlos is representing the Jets. And we can honestly say he's the only Jets fan that can hang out with us.
Yeah, likewise.
No. We got Danny Boff.
We got one more. But Carlos is accepting. He came with us to Baltimore.
Thank you, guys.
And he came with us to a Raider away game.
And he almost beat it down in Baltimore.
Yeah, and he caused more of a ruckus than we did.
Well, when in Rome, guys. When in Rome.
When in Rome,
yes.
You must be accordingly.
Yes.
All right, and Carlos is coming to the Raiders-Jets game next year.
Yeah,
live, and he's gonna be handing out hot dogs.
He's gonna be the only Jets jersey in Raider Nation next year at MetLife Stadium.
No, just Jets, guys. No Raiders here. Not on that day.
But he's gonna be handing out hot dogs. Handing out beer.
Not the Raider fans.
Handing out tequila.
The Jet fans, yes.
I'll tell you what, man. You want to get laid that night?
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Chuck.
Hot dogs all around, guys.
Rosie's holding that cookie. Nancy's holding the roofie.
Got the power.
So you have no choice, man. She'll just roofie you during the day, and then when you get home, you'll wake up in the morning.
You're right.
Naked with beard on you, nobody will know how.
Absolutely.
We're here at the Great Beer Expo in New Jersey.
Good time.
Seems like we still got 2 hours left to drink beer. It's ridiculous.
I thought really? Wow.
We've been here a while.
Yes,
drinking beer. It's good stuff, and
we're gonna have to go around and get seconds.
we're definitely getting seconds. We got a couple interviews lined up with some brewers, man. We got the local guys are really into hooking us up, and we met a Raiders fan that
yes,
wearing a McFadden jersey,
pouring beers for
wearing a McFadden jersey.
Yeah,
which I got one of those too. I don't wear it.
If you stayed healthy. If you stayed healthy, though. If you stayed healthy, it would have been great.
Yeah, would have been.
Woulda, shoulda, coulda.
Woulda, shoulda, coulda. But
Nick Turf Toe.
Plus he played.
That's my affectionate.
Yeah.
He played in the Jamarcus Russell era of the Raiders.
Can't blame him.
I don't have an affectionate nickname for him other than so.
Anyway, Rose,
You were supposed.
Congratulations
Thank you.
winning.
I won with Carlos's beer. Dogfish.
Yeah.
120.
And do you have anything to say?
I told Carlos that he would be doing all the talking because your plan was to get me so fucked up that I would say totally inappropriate.
Oh, well. Almost.
And Carlos knows that's correct.
Yeah.
That doesn't take much.
Listen.
Don't even talk about poolside.
Rose is actually a guardian of our children.
Yes.
We shall not speak of it.
I guard teeth.
Rosie is the voice of reason for our club.
The clown school rejects, right? That's my favorite part about the intro, by the way.
Yes.
The clown school rejects. The only aspiration is to be what? The rodeo clown?
Rodeo.
Ah, that's awesome.
So, Carlos, what's it like to be married into?
Well, I want to say I'm into it. I'm still a Jet fan, but
you know what?
Absolutely, I represent the Raider Nation when it's appropriate.
Yes.
That day would not be appropriate, but when it is appropriate, like the Baltimore day, absolutely. You heard me. Raiders.
That's right.
Yeah, you kicked ass at that game.
Like he said many times, Carlos was the loudest one out of anybody in the Raider Nation, and he was a Jets fan.
Because that's how you do it.
Yeah, because he was personally insulted by the Ravens.
The R.A.
For the fat guy doing his call with the Ravens.
Horrible.
That just ripped the Jets off.
Discrimination. That's so bad.
Yeah.
Look,
how do you do that? Like,
you come up with your own thing, right?
Exactly.
Yes.
You guys are a nation. Nobody else is a nation.
No.
That's right.
You're the Ravens. You don't come up with a Jet chant. That's a Jet J-E-T-S classic. You don't do R-A-V. What is that? Come up with your own stuff. Come on, guys. Very disappointing.
Absolutely.
Very disappointing in the Raven fan base. Copycats. You want to call them that?
They came along so late.
And you know, it's not like they're on the opposite coast. They're
right there.
3 hours south from us.
They're right there.
So,
you know they copied it.
you know,
It's obvious they copied it.
yeah.
They went to the
It's pretty
Meadowlands,
obvious.
they heard it, they liked it, and they took it.
Yeah, the original, folks.
Exactly.
Yes.
Come up with your own. That's all you can ask for.
All right.
Yeah?
So let's hit it.
Hey, what's up? You're listening to the Fan Club Blitz with Splatterhead and Fitz, posted by the NJ Black Hole. We are here at the Irish Cottage in Hamburg, New Jersey.
Okay, all right, we're here with the owner of Jersey Girl Brewery in I guess you would call it Bud Lake, Hackettstown. You're right.
Yeah, Bud Lake, yeah, Mount Olive.
Yeah, okay, why don't you introduce yourself?
I'm Chuck Aaron. I'm one of the owners over at Jersey Girl Brewing. We're open about 2.5 years now over in Mount Olive. We have a beautiful 30-barrel 4-vessel system. We have just over 300 barrels of fermentation capacity. Beautiful sample room, 15 beers on tap, and probably about 5 or 6 of those in distribution.
Cool.
We're in about 750 locations across New Jersey, including the Prudential Center for Devil's Games.
Nice. That's pretty cool.
It's a great journey, man. It's awesome.
My personal favorite of you guys is the Oktoberfest.
Oh my God, that beer was amazing. Exceeded my expectations, everybody's expectations.
Yeah,
really did.
That's cool. What was the inspiration on the porter?
So the porter came over. We had done it as like a 5% porter, and it was good, but it wasn't big enough for me. So we changed the recipe, made it a 6.7% porter. We added orange peel and fermentation to balance out that maltiness, a little bit of citrus, and when you drink it back, it's got a nice, thick, viscous feel to it, and then you get a little bit of that citrus on the back end. It's absolutely gorgeous. Well, really well balanced.
Nice. That was the first thing I said to him when I walked up. I was like, "Do you have the porter?" And he's like, "No." I was like, "Oh man."
What we brought was our Sunkissed Citra, which is our, it's more of like a sessionable IPA. And then we brought our King Gambrinus. King Gambrinus is actually Beer Connoisseur magazine just rated it 50 of the top 100 beers in 2018.
Yes. I love the Gambrinus. Love it.
For a 10% beer, it drinks like a light fruity beer.
Yes.
But it'll catch up with you really fast.
Yeah, it will. So, that's cool. I like that.
Yeah.
Chuck, anything?
No, man. Drink beer, have a good beer, and enjoying yourself. Man.
Yes.
Have fun, man. Totally appreciate you.
Yeah.
Thanks, man. This was actually a little fact. This was my first beer festival 5 years ago. My partner and I came here. We were drinking beers all day, and it was part of our startup process. And so it's nice to come back 5 years later and actually be pouring beer here, pouring an award-winning beer.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Really cool. The whole world kind of comes together.
Yes, exactly. Congratulations on your awards.
Thank you, man.
And I will be seeing you guys shortly to get my couple of cans of porter.
Awesome, man. Come by the brewery, man.
All right, cool.
Cheers.
Thanks. Why are you giving us the thing? Put it in the bag?
No, you put it in the bag. That way you can lose it, pay $5 for another one.
All right. So you're at the Fan Club Blitz. You got Splatterhead, Tom, and Fitz, and we have our friend Adrian from
Bolero Snow Brewery, man. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, straight out of Bergen County, bro.
Straight out of Bergen County, and we've been here all of session 1 for this event. We've had a lot of beers. We've had a lot of good beers. We've had some mediocre beers. Most of them are pretty good, though.
Yes.
But Bolero Snort's been on our. We've got 3 favorites. And you're in there.
We're in there, at least. I'm definitely happy that we're in there, whether it's 1, 2, or 3. So
your mosaic is my favorite of the beer.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like out of everything that's out here, obviously there's some really competitive stuff. Like people are making really good beer.
Yeah.
But to be called like the best that we've had, that's kind of humbling, and I definitely appreciate that, man. Absolutely.
I'm gonna second that. I've had it before. I've had it in the can, the Mosaic. I love it. It's great. IPA, awesome. Your Raging Bull, First time I ever had it, man.
That's like one of our babies. I mean, that's one of the first beers that we produce. It's the beer that we produce in terms of volume, the most out of anything that we've ever done. Because at the end of the day, it's a beer that, it's like for the sake of being a beer,
Yeah.
It's just that thing that you can just crush back, throw back. Raging Bull is just...
Oh, yeah.
It's a flagship. It's a staple with us, and we're very proud of it.
Yeah,
I never want to go away.
myself sitting back and drinking about like 30, 40 of those.
Oh, yeah, at least in 1 hour, right? It's just like... hour, maybe 2 hours.
A half hour. I'm not an amateur. I don't know what you're used to dealing with.
30 to 40 beers in a half hour. Sounds good.
We're not Jets fans
There's no problem
here.
with that whatsoever.
We're not Jets fans. It doesn't take us an hour to drink 40 beers. Half hour.
Half hour.
Come on, man. I know we're in the New York, New Jersey area, but we're Raiders, not Jets.
Listen, man, whatever you are, we're always happy for that. So
tell us a little bit about your brewery.
So Bolero Snort, we've been around for about 6 years. We'll be doing our 6-year anniversary in March. So we've been around for a while. We've seen a lot of changes through the industry, and we constantly try to evolve with the industry.
Gotta stay relevant.
Exactly, you gotta stay relevant.
That means you're gonna add lactose to all your...
Yeah, we add lactose to beers. We're guilty with that. We play around with as much as we possibly can. The way that we like to do it is we'll sit in a room and we'll say, what is a terrible idea for a beer? And then we'll do it. It's like you're like, okay, well, let's put candy in beer. Let's put like we made a sour that was with Sour Patch Kids. Sour Patch Kids. We did a beer with Fruity Pebbles in it. We did a beer with Lucky Charms in it.
Hence the reason for the Extreme Beer Fest
exactly
in Boston, where you guys are at.
Absolutely, we have some crazy stuff going on up there. And we're humbled by it that we've been invited to that beer fest. That we've been invited to other fests like all across the country. And the scene has gotten so big, and our brand has gotten so big that we're just scrambling to stay up with it almost.
Yeah.
We're growing so quickly. It's frankly very humbling. And
as somebody who's starting his own small business from scratch, I welcome the challenge of having so much crap that I don't know what to do with.
Exactly.
I welcome that.
Exactly.
And congratulations to you guys for being in that position. That you guys have built your brand to the point where
I don't know.
You don't know where to turn next.
The brand took a life of its own.
Yeah.
And it's just like we're just catching up with it.
Yeah.
So outside of that, what actually got you started into it?
So our main guy, Robert Olson, he was a home brewer, and he had a dream and everything. It was like, hey, I want to do this, and we did. Both me and myself and Scott, we all just jumped together and we said, okay, how are we going to do this? How are we going to make a company out of this? And it just kind of started taking a life. We just wanted to have fun.
Yeah.
We wanted to brew beer, and we were lucky enough to have people actually really like what we did.
Yes.
And that's where it began, and then we just kind of started going there and just built and built and built. A snowball effect right from the traditional example.
And where can people you guys are you regionally distributed or just Jersey? What?
Yeah, so we're distributed all throughout New Jersey, Sussex County, all the way down to Cape May. A lot of the local places will have us in terms of Bottle Kings and Spirits Express, and so Joe Canals, all those guys, they'll have us. We're also distributed in Pennsylvania, New York, and Massachusetts, and we actually sent a pallet of beer out to Poland recently.
Nice.
So we're international now.
All right,
it's crazy.
So basically, and you also
the Polskis like beer.
Yes, they do.
They
absolutely.
Do. But you also obviously supply bars.
Absolutely. We do draft and whatnot. We have a lot of places that have Raging Bull on, and they have dedicated lines for that. Our orange creamsicle beer is another one that we do all the time, and a lot of people bars that carry that.
Yeah.
It's a fun beer.
I had your orange creamsicle beer at, I believe, Salt.
Okay,
Bud Lake.
Bud Lake.
Or not Bud Lake, Byron.
Byron.
Same. I know exactly what you're talking about. Good place.
Yeah.
Excellent bar.
Yeah, excellent place.
What I like about the distribution, and you guys have the adventurous. Let's try it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's what we try to cater to. We know that beer is evolving every day.
Yes.
There's always something new. There's always something coming around the corner. We try to anticipate that as best we can, and we try to give people what they want to drink. We don't want to brew what we want and tell you what we want you to drink.
Yeah.
We like to hear what you want and then try to make it our own.
Yeah.
You know.
So to throw something out, then, I mean, if we're going in that direction, I mean, it's not too crazy to think about maybe like a New Jersey Raiders beer.
There you go.
Exactly. I'm always down for the conversation. We can always talk about it.
Sure,
Absolutely.
we can talk about it, and I can almost. I mean,
And I'm sure
I can
we
almost
can get it on
posit-
tap for you at least one time.
At least in our venue where we
Yes,
watch the games, we
can
could
get that on
probably
tap
almost
for
get
you.
it on tap
We'll
there.
talk about Rating Bowl. You know, it's like.
Hey, listen, that's a conversation I think that's worth having.
Absolutely, man. I'm always down to talk and see what works for you guys.
Yeah.
We want people to consume our beer, obviously, and if that's the best way for us to do it, dude, we are on board. So make it happen. We'll talk about it.
But listen, I'll tell you, we might, you know what, as a group, we're great fans of the Raiders. We might not have the best team. We might not have the best of everything, but I'll tell you one thing we do is we are some of the best drinkers around, and we will definitely consume
absolutely
your beer without a doubt.
Absolutely. Well,
New York.
Next fall, we're going to be opening our physical on-premise location.
Yeah.
So it's going to be on the corner of 20th and Broad in Carlstadt, New Jersey. So right down the street from where Meadowlands Racetrack is. So we'll definitely.
So it'll be easy for you to deliver those kegs.
We'll work on it.
It's right there.
We'll definitely work on it.
It's right there. Just can't get any easier.
Now we'll be in touch, though, man.
Yeah.
Tell you
We'll
what,
work that out.
like I said, we've been through this whole place, and we've probably hit at least 100 of 150
we hit pretty much
breweries.
everything.
Yeah, I think so. Yes.
And I have 3 favorites, and you guys are number 1.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm loving
Appreciate
both.
it, and thank you for doing the interview.
My man, thank you so much.
And let's get together and work on a signature beer.
Yeah, the Raiders beer, my man.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Absolutely.
But more importantly, a New Jersey Raiders beer.
Exactly.
It's a whole different thing.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's unique in itself.
Absolutely.
Me and Chuck are stout guys.
Yeah.
We'll throw it out there.
I'm
maybe
more
work on that.
of a Pilsner lager guy.
So I mean, we got a lot of.
Maybe we do like a black and tan with that, right?
Yeah.
There you go, maybe.
But
We'll sort it out, though.
We're big amber
Absolutely.
ale guys, or
Hey, listen.
You guys are the artists. We'll leave it up to you.
Listen, there are definitely people that we can definitely say, hey, listen, you want to come down to the brewery, you guys can be a part of the process, Like that's a huge thing, and we want to work with people like that. So
At the end of the day, we drink any not crappy though. Yeah, let me reiterate that.
we
not crappy. But we like all.
We ain't drinking Bud Cool.
we like all styles.
To
of
hit
beer.
the PBRs.
Yeah,
it was there.
Okay, that's all good. All right, so we gotta.
Yeah, I'm a big PBR guy from
That's just
back in the
heritage, though.
day.
That's just from growing up.
Punk rock bars,
Yeah,
heavy metal bars around here, the dives. You always got that 16-ounce cup for $1.
Okay, absolutely.
That's what we can
I know
afford.
exactly what you're talking about. Yeah. No, there's definitely something to be said for that beer that you can just throw back all night.
Yes.
And obviously Raging Bull for us, that's the beer. That's the throwback beer. You just do it all night long.
I'm thinking of like you said, a Raging Raider.
Yeah,
we just tweak that a little bit.
You tweak it out.
You're the brewer.
We'll work it out. We'll work it out.
You guys are the artists, man. You're the chefs.
Excellent.
All right.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank
I
you.
really appreciate
man.
it.
Thanks for the interview. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
All right, this is Tom. I guess we're going to be wrapping up our show here. If you have any questions for me, or you want to call in and talk about anything you want on the Raider Fan Club Blitz, our number is 732-798-0257. Feel free. Ask me about Mr. Skittles. I love Mr. Skittles. We're also going to give a shout out to the Irish Cottage, our home base. They are located at 602 Route 23 North in Franklin, New Jersey. And their number is 973-827-2090. And Give us a call. Let us know what you think. Questions, comments, anything you want to say. Feel free. Talk to you next week. Bye.
It wasn't recording, right?
All right, let's go get some more beers.
I lost my glass.
No idea. I don't know how to use this thing. We're recording now, and Tom lost his keys.
I lost my keys. I found the keys.
We're drunk idiots.
We're drunk.
And I'm still trying to figure out whose great idea was to give free passes to a beer expo.
Yeah.
To us three idiots.
Yeah. Fitz is still trying to figure out Uber.
Good job, Murph. All right.
All right.
Testing 1, 2.
It's Fan Club Blitz. Splatterhead, Tom and Fitz.
I'll probably throw this
coming at you live from
somebody's
the
bat. Yeah.
From the dumpster behind my house.
Yeah. I gotta talk to Fitz. We'll put this on towards the. This will make the blooper reel. But Fitz, I need you to be careful today.
I will.
I need you to keep all your fluids.
It's going to be professional.
Keep your fluids on the right side of your body. See, I had a dream last night.
I don't like where this is going.
We were visiting. I think we were visiting your folks, but they lived in Hawaii. Only it looked just like this.
Wow.
And all the locals.
God, I hope not.
All the locals had an accent that was a mixture of hillbilly and pigeon.
Ogdensburg, yeah.
But anyway, we were there. Laura was there. Rebecca was there. Her name was Cheryl for some reason. And a lot of people were there, and we had a ton of booze. But you announced that, oh my God, the liquor store closes at 1 p.m. So we had to go to the liquor store. Only when we were getting into your truck, you passed out, and
it's not unheard of.
You told me, you needed insulin or something. So I went
Chuck,
running.
I'm drunk.
I went running, and now there were kids playing and carnival rides and all kinds of crap, and I'm yelling for Cheryl. And I saw some of your buddies, and I was like, Fitz passed out. So they ran over there by the truck to help you out. And when I came back around, they were one of them's name was Clubber for some reason.
Clubber leg.
So as I came back around, they passed me. They're like, he's okay. Too much alcohol in his left testicle.
What did you eat before you left the bed?
What the hell did you drink last night?
And then I woke up.
That whole gummy?
And then I woke up and
I was
said,
going to say, I think you got some of that special beer you were talking about from Cali.
I woke up and said, I hope I can remember this dream. So there you go.
So, yeah, okay.
All right. Well.